Do you feel like you are stuck in fight or flight? Have you ever been told that you are sympathetic dominant? And are you wondering how you can fix this? Well, we are going to talk about just that today. I'm your host, Madeleine Lowry, a neural retraining specialist, helping people with chronic symptoms and conditions get unstuck and unlock their healing potential. Today, we're diving into a big question. Why does the nervous system get stuck? And why is it so hard to reset through willpower, lifestyle changes, or even medical treatments? If you've been living with chronic symptoms, fatigue, pain, tension, sensitivities, anxiety, autoimmune flare-ups, you've probably tried everything to help your body regulate, and yet you may still feel trapped in a pattern you can't seem to escape. And I am here to tell you, you are not alone, and it is not your fault. There is a real reason that this happens, and today I'm going to explain it in a way that finally makes sense. First, let's talk about how the nervous system gets stuck. Your autonomic nervous system has two basic modes: sympathetic, which is the fight, flight, freeze, or survival mode, and the parasympathetic, which is rest, digest, repair, or the healing mode. In the normal course of our daily life, we should be moving between these two modes multiple times a day, smoothly, like a pendulum. But for many people with chronic symptoms, that pendulum stops swinging. The nervous system becomes stuck in a chronic stress response, even when there's no real danger. Why? Because the nervous system responds not to logic, but to perceived threat. And what shapes our perception of threat? Not the conscious mind, and not our rational adult self, but the subconscious mind. And here's what I want you to know. The subconscious mind drives 90% of nervous system activation. This is what most people don't realize, because your subconscious mind is constantly scanning your thoughts, your emotions, your past experiences, your beliefs, your environment, and your internal sensations to decide, am I safe or am I not safe? And the subconscious mind is so fast. It is 1,000,000 times faster than your conscious mind. If your subconscious is carrying old patterns of fear, overwhelm, over-responsibility, perfectionism, shame, powerlessness, or unprocessed trauma, then everyday situations can trigger an oversized survival response. And that is why symptoms flare out of nowhere. They are not random. They are patterned. And it's also important to understand why it is that your nervous system won't reset on its own, given what we just discussed. People often tell me, I'm trying to stay calm and relaxed. I'm doing breath work, tapping, taking supplements, or meditating. My labs have improved, but I still feel awful. Or I get better for a little while and then crash again. And this is why. Because you cannot override subconscious programming with conscious tools. You can soothe the nervous system with these tools, but if the underlying pattern is still there, it will reactivate again and again. And so this is where subconscious neural retraining comes in. Neural retraining works because it does what conscious strategies cannot. It communicates directly with the subconscious mind, the part of you that controls your emotional responses, your physiological state, and yes, your symptoms, which are just physiological patterns. When we work at this level, we can identify the real root causes of chronic stress. We can neutralize old emotional associations. We can release stored trauma responses. And we can dissolve fear-based patterns. And we can also rewire the triggers that tell your subconscious that you are not safe. And once those subconscious associations change, the nervous system automatically begins to shift out of survival mode and into healing mode. And this is why so many of my clients say things like, my symptoms feel less threatening than they used to. I'm not reacting the way I used to. I suddenly feel much calmer. And my triggers don't set me off anymore. They didn't force this change, and they aren't working hard to feel better. They simply removed the pattern that was driving it in our sessions. Now, please understand this does not happen in one session. In fact, it usually takes several. And this depends on how long-standing the pattern is, how deeply wired it is, and how many triggers there are. So, how does it feel when the nervous system finally gets unstuck? People often notice more emotional stability, reduced tension, fewer flares, fewer sensitivities, less hypervigilance, improved digestion and sleep, more physical resilience, and a sense of internal safety or centeredness that they have never felt before. And most importantly, they stop feeling afraid of their symptoms. When the nervous system no longer interprets your symptoms as a threat, then your symptoms finally have an opportunity to resolve. And let me emphasize a final important point. This process is not positive thinking. It is not about affirmations. It is not about pushing through or working hard, and it is not about forcing your mind to stay calm. It is about accessing the part of your mind that has been making decisions for you without your permission and offering it new information. When the subconscious mind updates its programming, the nervous system follows. The body follows. Your symptoms follow. And this is how people get unstuck, often after years or even decades of suffering with symptoms and chronic conditions. So if you have been living in a nervous system that feels trapped in survival mode, I want you to know you are not broken. You are patterned, and patterns can be changed. If you're curious about what this looks like in practice, you can book a free consultation or learn more about group and private sessions at tcneuralretraining.com. I work with clients all over the world via Zoom. And if today's episode resonated with you, please follow the show, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Thank you for listening. And remember, when you shift your subconscious patterns, you give your nervous system permission to heal. Content of this podcast, copyright 2025 by Twin Cities Neural Retraining. Music by Barbara Ben.